Well, Catriona, welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Your book, Ready for Anything, really is ready for anything.
Hopefully.
The idea is that it's a sort of a guidebook to preparing for getting old. It's not just about what happens when you're older. You have to start thinking early, don't you?
That's right, yes. I think one of the key messages from the book is to think about issues when you're in good health, everything's ticking along well, because if you wait until you've had an accident or developed a severe illness, for some things it can actually be too late. So it's really good to sit down when you've got a bit of time and just plan, and that means that your wishes can be carried out. It also makes things so much easier for your family if something happens to you, because they can carry out what you want done. And also with particular areas of law, like for instance an enduring power of attorney, giving somebody power to act for you. If you don't do that while you're in good health and have full capacity, then it's too late. You can't actually do it after you've become incapable.
I was quite interested that just about the first thing after the introduction is talking about power of attorney. So you obviously feel that's really important.
I do, because I think that it's something that you need really from any age, because unfortunately nobody knows what's going to happen in life. You could be run over by a bus, anything can happen, so it's a really good idea just to have those things in place. And obviously the other one is a will. Yeah.
I was going to say, you talk about wills, and that there's actually quite a long section on the whole business of making a will, because you can buy those will sets in the local stationers, and you seem to be saying it's perhaps good to get good advice.
It actually doesn't cost very much to get your will done by a lawyer, and sure, if you're very confident you know what you're doing, and probably if you don't have much property, it's fine to do it on your own. But my advice would be that making your will is not an area to try and save money, because it really doesn't cost much. You can also try and get a free one from your lawyer, perhaps if you're buying a property, or if you're a new client to a law firm, then quite often they'll do it for free. Or you can get a free will through public trust, but then the trade-off is that you have to appoint them as your executor. But I just think it's very important to make sure things are done properly. So in that book and in my other books, I am trying to empower people. So when I think people don't need a lawyer and they can do things on their own, I always say so. But equally, if I think it's worth spending a little bit of money to make sure you've got things absolutely right, I give that advice as well.
There's a whole section on the whole business of going into like a retirement village, which I thought you just moved into a retirement village, and there you were, but it's
actually,
so
in legal terms, it's very, very complicated. And also what you're paying for there, quite a bit of it is you're paying for lifestyle, so security, having people around you, quite often having your meals provided, cleaning services, shopping trips. So it's not like actually buying a property, and in fact you're probably not buying it. And I think lots of people, if you haven't worked in that area before, you don't know that.
And there's lots of advice about things like obviously preparing financially for what happens when you stop work. But what's interesting, and there are quite a few case studies in here as well, is that I suppose for those of us who are at work, you tend to think you stop work and really you're just hanging around until you pop your clogs. But actually, these people in here are having a whale of a time.
Yeah, that was actually the neatest, the best thing about doing this book was there's 15 case studies, and I was just amazed and really encouraged myself, thinking about getting older, how positive the people are and how much they're enjoying life, and how spontaneously person after person said to me, these are the best years of our lives. So I think that's really good. And I think we're very lucky in New Zealand. Most people do continue living on their own homes till really quite an advanced age and have good health. So I think we are very lucky, but it's just good to put some things in place to be a bit prepared.
What made you actually sit down and write the book? Because I mean, it's a funny thing to do, really. It's like, I'll sit down and write a book, guide you to how to be an old person.
Well, it actually came out of talking with my mother, because she gets annoyed at the way everything in our society and in the media is targeted at young people. Advertisers all focus on 18 to 39-year-olds, and older people are really almost invisible in some ways in our society, and she thinks that there should be something out there for them, and so this book actually came out of that, basically. Yeah.
Has she read it?
Yes, oh yes, she does the proofreading on my books, so she reads all of them as they go along.
And does she approve?
And some of the case studies are some of her friends in there. I won't mention which ones, but yeah.
But they'll know who they are.
Yes, yeah.
One of the nice things is it's actually written in a very readable way. I mean, I just sat down and kept finding, oh, that's interesting, but it's not lawyery.
Yeah, a lot of people say to me, oh, you don't write like a lawyer, and they mean it as a compliment. So I do try to be practical, because there's no point in writing stuff if people don't understand it, and also if they can't apply it in their lives. I think what's been very unfortunate in recent years is that we've seen a lot of New Zealanders who've been conscientious and tried to prepare themselves for retirement, thought they were doing the right thing, and lost, tens of thousands of dollars. So even if you are trying to do the right thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to end up in a good situation, unfortunately.
Now, you're a lawyer, so you know all these things, but did you find when you were researching it that there were things that, oh, I didn't know that?
Oh yes, I really didn't know anything about retirement villages, so all the legal structures and the ins and outs of those, that was quite a revelation to me, yeah.
It's a very human book. I think that's what's really nice.
Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly made me think that what we need to do to be better prepared in our family, and even, the suggestion that you draw up a list of your lawyer and your accountant and all the people that you deal with and all your friends, so that if something does happen, that other people have those contact details, because, I mean, none of us wants to ever think about anything bad happening, but it is good just to be a bit prepared.
So what's next?
Actually, there's another book coming out in about a month called Survive the Crunch, and that's just hopefully providing advice for people about how to get through and survive the current economic downturn. So
I think we'll all be queuing up for that one.
Hopefully.
Catriona, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.